shapes, let's talk about solids. And I like to do this because it gives me a chance to draw. Anybody know what the difference, or what a solid, when we talk about solids in math, what we're talking about? Actually, the book says geometric solids. Study of geometry. A solid is
not a liquid.
Not a liquid. Exactly. Jacob?
Something old.
Could I hold a square?
Yes. Yeah.
I think you're on the right path there. Peter, it's a
three-dimensional shape.
Yeah, it's a 3D, three-dimensional shape. You know, it has length, usually width, and height. Oh boy. They come in things that are called, and here's where you got to take some notes because I wouldn't expect you to remember this. Polyhedrons.
Whoa.
Polyhedrons and non-polyhedrons. You know what all these things are, by the way. This is just mathematical words for it. The difference between a polyhedron and a non-polyhedron is that polyhedrons have no curves. No curves. Whereas non-polyhedrons would have curves. Maybe we should start. Let's start with a non-polyhedron. What are curved three-dimensional shapes? Christine?
A cube.
A cube does not have a curve on it. Cubes are all flats. You're getting close though.
Oh, we're doing we're doing that one.
What thing has curves on it? Christine?
Sphere.
Sphere, right. And here's the best way. It's hard to draw a three-dimensional shape on a two-dimensional piece of paper, but you have to sometimes do things to show a little depth here. So you draw your circle, which is a circle, until you put a little dash line. If you put a little dash line around it like it's an equator, people a lot of times think that that gives it a three-dimensional shape. You can look inside of it. Yeah, it's a sphere. It's a sphere. Another curvy shape we have is a cone. Which, best way to draw a cone is start, well, here I'll do it now. Let's start with this. Draw the little pointy part. And then you kind of draw a circle here. And then a little dash circle behind it. It is your cone. And the other three-dimensional curvy shape we usually talk about, Calvin, is a cylinder or a can. A little oval, line straight down, a little oval, dash line, cylinder, or the can. Those are your non-polyhedron types, as opposed to our not curvy things, which, let's start with the one Christine threw at us already. A cube, which is a, what do we call those? A cube is a prism. It's a square prism. Prism, meaning it's three-dimensional, and on the sides. It doesn't come to a point and has no round things here. So a cube looks like this. Start with a square. And then if you could draw this same exact square up and over just a little bit. I should have done it. Maybe I'll do it down and over. Yeah, down and over, sure. A lot of pressure. Square, 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 square. And then connect the corners. You're getting something. That one's not really cute. And then, if you just make these little things dashed, that's not my best. It's pretty good. Can I do that again?
Sticks.
I'm going to do that again. So this, let's try that again. A nice square, and then usually I just come off this with angles, draw straight lines. Okay. Again, if you struggle drawing nice shapes, it's probably because you're not taking your pencil off every time you draw a straight line and you try to draw a square without it. Stop, take it off, stop, take it off, take it off. We have rectangular prisms. By the way, this a lot of times we call a dice. Or a die. Is die double? Dice. Which one's plural? Dice, die, whatever it is. A box we also call a rectangular prism. And there again, you start with a rectangle. And if you draw that same rectangle over here, and just connect the corners that match up, you'll get a nice rectangular prism. Now usually it helps if you make these dashed. That's why it's nice for me to be able to do this. And sometimes it's even better if you do a little shading like this. Where the front is one color, the right side is one color, one color, the top is one color. That wasn't in one, a different color. How about a nice shade of
Chartreuse.
chartreuse? My favorite color. I'm sure I know what chartreuse is. Shoe boxes, cereal boxes, boxes, whatever, anything that's not a dice or whatever. And then some of my favorite of all things to draw. Oh, we forgot. I should draw you a rectangular prism too. Rectangular prism, same kind of deal. Start with a rectangle. And do another triangle, same size right there, and then just connect the proverbial dots. And we'll get a lot more into those rectangular prism things. And then my last polyhedron, but not least, is my favorite. As in Egypt do with the pyramids. These are very easy to draw. You just got to know how to do it. The pyramids, by the way, do what? How do you know something's a pyramid? Because it comes to a point. It comes to a point. And here is how. Let's do a square pyramid. So we start with a squashed square. It looks like this. Okay, that's the base of it. And then all you need to do is this. Pick a point, kind of looks like it's straight above where it is, put a little dot there, and then just connect all the vertices with that point. And you can do any pyramid that way. Let's say you want to do a hexagonal one whose base is a hexagon. Start with a hexagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put a point up here, and then just connect all of those points to that point. Just do that dash. And again, that's why people who do this actually shade their stuff in a little bit, so you can kind of see the shade action there. Shade action there.
Oh, that looks like geometry, Mr. Hahn.
Oh, geometry.
That's awesome.
Good geometry.
Did you do?
I didn't even know she was
thought you had detention or
So you need to finish
something. I didn't follow you too.
I wonder what she was doing. No.
Not my recollection. She did come and ask. She asked something though.
I was curious, just know.
Maybe she did. If she comes and says to me she did, I would probably have to say, I got to remember her. She did ask me something, but I thought it was more like.
That's okay.
Go to the bathroom or. Was Chris just walked in or? Not really.
No.
Oh,
Perhaps not. It could be the other thing. But it's, I just start finding out. I have no clue. I didn't even try and get into it. So. Sonia brought her in and which I was surprised.
Didn't even know myself.
No,
Alright, sixth grade, you go.
No, Simon? No.